Hi, I'm Camilla. I'm 39 years old. I'm a parenting coach with a background in psychology, and I'm also a mom. And here today, I'd like to talk to you about triggers, when our children trigger us. So we always feel like, our children do this thing and we just feel triggered. Whatever it is, whether it's something they've said, whether it's something that they've done, maybe you have to ask them like 100 times to put their shoes on. Eventually you just blow because you've had enough. You're just like ready to just, it's like just totally explode, right? But what's going on there? So you're being triggered, but why is that? I'm here to tell you it's not at all what you think it is. We always think that it's the child's fault. The child made me feel like this. The child, by their freaking behavior, if they had only put their shoes on when I asked them the first time, instead of me having to tell them 100 times, my head would not be ready to explode. Actually, is that true though? I'm here to tell you it's not actually about your child at all. Your child has not triggered you. You've triggered you. This is gonna sound crazy, but just go with me on this one, okay? So whether it's your child or your spouse or your mother-in-law or the guy down the road or someone you met at a shop or on a bus, whatever it is that has upset you, triggered you, made you angry, pushed your buttons, those buttons could not be pushed if they weren't there in the first place. So the reason that it has triggered you is because there's part of you that resonates with whatever message you're getting from this interaction. So if it's your child not wanting to put their shoes on and refusing to do what you say and not listening, how are you feeling in that moment? It's not about your child. It's about you. How are you feeling? If you can identify how you're feeling in that moment, the driving force behind your big fat red button that someone's come along and pushed, then you're already halfway there. Then you're already halfway there because you've identified what the underlying cause is. So let's say it's a thing with the child who's not listening. Is it because part of you feels like you don't deserve to be heard? Or maybe part of you is angry that not enough people listen to you or hear you or respect you. All that stuff, those are your self-limiting beliefs. Those don't have to be your beliefs now. I'm here to tell you, you can change the way you think and you can change the things that you believe. I actually train people how to do this with huge success. These people are now feeling better. They're improving their lives and they're improving the connection they have with their children and with their loved ones. So just identifying the trigger and realizing that it's some sort of unresolved issue in yourself and then you taking responsibility for that is half the battle. That is the biggest step of all. So if you can identify what your triggers are, how they make you feel, and realize it's got nothing to do with that kid who's done or said or whatever. That is just almost them holding like a flashlight, a torch, and shining a light on an issue in you. Because if that issue wasn't there, if that button wasn't there, they could not push it. It's not your fault that you have this button. Everybody has some sort of button. Everybody's got baggage, right? We've all got something from our childhoods, some past shit that's happened to us, some sort of self-limiting belief that we've carried with us into adulthood. In fact, we haven't just carried this thing. We have protected this thing. We have nourished this thing. We have thought, this always happens to me. She said this, she made me feel like, we're always pointing outwards. We're never looking in, right? We're always saying, this always happens to me. She always says this about me. She made me feel like this. She made me feel like this. Talk about handing our power over to someone else, right? No one has the power to make us feel anything. We choose to let that shit get under our skin. And yeah, I'm sure you're feeling a bit triggered even just hearing this, because who the hell would want to feel bad? Who the hell would choose to feel like that? Who the hell would choose to feel like shit because of something that someone else has done? Like, why would you choose to do that? But it's not something we're consciously choosing. It's something we're subconsciously choosing. It is a pattern. It is a default setting. It is an autopilot setting that we've got built in. We just need to unravel where it's coming from and then reprogram it. That's all it is. It is that simple. The strategies that I teach are so freaking simple. They will blow your mind, but it's all about commitment, wanting to change this, not wanting to feel like shit anymore, and actually changing and repeating, just repeating these new things until they get strong. Like a muscle, you need to flex it, right? You can't just do one sit-up and then suddenly be buff. You need to like do a lot of sit-ups before you can see your abs coming through, right? Same thing with this. It's not about it being difficult or complicated. It's not about you being wrong or faulty and you need fixing. It's literally, we all have this. This is something we all have, but we need to identify what are the triggers for us because they're unique for everyone. They come from something back there that's happened to us. Once we figure out where they're coming from, how they make us feel. This is the clue. How are we feeling when we're triggered? What's going on for us? Why are we being triggered, right? Someone could come up and call us a name, and if we don't resonate with that, if someone comes up and goes, man, you are so unintelligent. If I'm just like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm intelligent. Then it would just be like, whoosh, it would just roll off our backs. We wouldn't be affected. The reason it gets under our skin is because there's part of us that actually believes this, because part of us, you know, has been fed this in the past. We've been conditioned to think this, and then we've walked around compounding it, like repeating it, almost like I said earlier, defending it. So something has happened and we go, see, I knew I didn't deserve this because it's happened again. It's almost like we actually protect this thing. If someone comes along and goes, hey, did you know you can do it differently? No, I can't. It's not my fault. Of course I'm not choosing this. Right, so you're defending your issue. You're actually choosing to carry on, you know, holding this button, protecting this button, rather than pulling it out by its roots, throwing it away and saying, hey, I'd rather be free. I'd rather have power over my own life. So if you're ready to take the step to heal your triggers, to fix this shit that has been controlling you and take back the control, then come with me. I have a fantastic course that I teach to mothers, and it's not just about triggers, but that is one of many, many wonderful things that we cover. And it really just helps like improve the way your life feels and improve the connections you have with your children. And most importantly, it's stopping those patterns. It's stopping those cycles that we're not passing them on to our kids. Because if stuff back there has hurt us and made us lash out now, it is like we are bleeding all over people that didn't cut us. You know, someone else cut us. That is not that pure, beautiful soul, that child standing in front of you's fault, right? They don't deserve your shit. You know, we need to take responsibility for our own shit. We need to stop taking it out on other people. We need to deal with our triggers. Otherwise, our triggers are going to own us. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being controlled. So join me, check it out. We'll see if you're a good fit for the course. We can have a conversation. And if you are a good fit, we'll get you started right away. See you next time. Bye.